Alright, so number 18, actually 18 through 22, you're going to graph f of x equals x cubed and then its transformation, g of x, and then describe the transformation from f to g. Okay, so I notice here that k is -3. This is the k value. And that's the only parameter that's affecting x cubed, right? So that means that the y is decreasing by 3. So I'm going to put a -3 here. And then do the new points. So x's don't change, but y's do. So this is -4. And then 0, -3. And then 1, -2. So I subtracted 3 from each of the y's. And over here on the graph, I already have x squared, y equals x squared in blue. I'm going to use pink to draw the new function to draw g of x. So it's going to go -1, -4, 0, -3, and 1, -2. Connect. Okay. So to describe, you would just say that from f of x to g of x, there was a vertical translation through 3 units down. Okay. All right. So for number 20, h is +2 and k is -3. So that means that the x's are going to increase by 2 and the y's are going to decrease by 3. So 2 minus 1 is 1. -3 minus 1 is -4. 2 plus 0 is 2. -3 plus 0 is -3. 2 plus 1 is 3. -3 plus 1 is -2. So I'm going to go ahead and plot these points. 1, -4. 2, -3. And 3, -2. And then connect them. So the transformations on g of x were a vertical translation, I'll just put translation, 3 units down, and a horizontal translation, 2 units to the right. So for 22, the h value is -4, so that means that the x's are going to decrease by 4, and the k is 1, so that means that the y's are going to increase by 1. So -4 minus 1 is -5, 1 minus 1 is 0. -4 plus 0 is -4, 1 plus 1, 1, I mean 1 plus 0, 1. -4 plus 1 is -3, 1 plus 1 is 2. So -5, 0. -4, 1, and -3, 2. So the graph, oops, is this way, right there. So to describe the transformation, you're going to, from f of x, from the blue to the pink, from f of x to g of x, is there's a horizontal translation, 4 units left, and a vertical translation, 1 unit up. Alright, for 24 through 28, they want you to answer the question, do the graphs of f and g have the same right and left-hand behavior? Explain why or why not. And they also ask you to graph it, so you could graph it if you like. I'm just going to use the chart that we made in class today with the four choices. So if I look at 24, I notice that both of them are cubed functions, so the n is odd, n is 3, and both of them have a negative leading coefficient, -1/3. So these are going to have the same end behavior. Okay, so it's actually going to be left on up on the left and down on the right. Number 26, they both have an even degree and they both have a positive leading coefficient. So these are going to have the same end behavior and they both go up. Number 28, they both have an even degree. They both have degree 4, except the leading coefficient is not the same. F of x has a negative 1 and g of x has a positive 1. So these are not the same end behavior. And again, the reason for that is because this has a negative and right here is a positive. There's nothing there, but we know it's positive. So it's not the same end behavior. All right, so 30 to 36, they want you to give the end behavior. Again, they ask that you use a graphing calculator to verify your answers, so you may go ahead and do that either before or after, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go ahead and do it from the chart that we created in class. So, for 30, negative x to the 6th is my leading term, so the power, the degree is even, and the leading coefficient is negative. So I know that the end behavior is going to go down, down. So as x goes to negative infinity, f of x goes to negative infinity, and so does the other side. For number 32, the leading term is 1/3 x cubed. The n is odd, and the leading coefficient is positive. So this one's going to have on the left side go down, on the right side go up. So as x gets smaller, y gets smaller. As x gets bigger, y gets bigger. Number 34 has an odd degree, a 7, and a positive leading coefficient, 3/4. So as x, so it's the same as 32. On the left it's going to go down, on the right it's going to go up. As x gets smaller, y gets smaller. As x gets bigger, y gets bigger. Number 36 has an odd degree, s cubed, so n is 3, and the leading coefficient is negative, negative 7/8. So this one's going to go up on the left and down on the right. So as x gets smaller, y gets bigger, and as x gets bigger, y gets smaller. Okay, so for 123, you're given f of x and g of x and asked to do the operation, in this case adding the two functions and evaluating it at x equals -4. So f plus g of -4. So I'm going to do them separately, so I'm going to do f of -4 and g of -4, and then add the two together. So 14 times -4 minus 3 gives you -56 minus 3, which is -57. And then 16, because -4 squared is 16, so 16 times 8 gives you 128. Oops, sorry. 128. And when you combine f of -4 and g of -4, you get 71. Oops, take it back. So it's actually 59 up here. So that's 59. And so when you subtract 59 from 128, it's actually 69. Sorry about that. There's the right answer. So g of 3, this time we're doing g minus f of 3. So g of 3 is 8 times 9, which is 72. And then f of 3 would be 4 times 13 minus 3, which is 42 minus 3, which is, I'm writing the wrong thing, minus 3, which is 39. And so now we're subtracting. So 72 minus 39, because that's what the problem is asking you to do, g minus f. So 72 minus 39 is 33. All right, 125, we're doing f times g of -4/7. So I've already set it up. Remember, 14 is 14 over 1, so then I can simplify or reduce 7 into 7 once and 7 into 14 twice. So 2 times -4 is -8 minus 3 is -11. Over here, it's same thing, 8 over 1. So I've got to use order of operations, so it's actually 16 over 49. So you multiply across and we get 128 over 49. Okay, so now we multiply negative 11 times 128 over 49. And remember, it's 11 over 1. And so we're going to do, let's see, times 11, negative 1,408 over 49. That would be the answer for that one. Okay, for 126, I've set that one up also. Notice how I changed the decimal to a fraction. And the reason for that is because I see that I can reduce 14 and 2, so I put 14 over 1 there. 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 14 7 times. So 7 times negative 3 is negative 21 minus 3. So that's negative 24. And then right here it's 8 over 1 times 9 over 4, because order of operations dictates that you square the fraction first. Okay, so 4 into 4 once, 4 into 8 twice, so then I get 18. And f over g means that you're going to do negative 24 over 18. Both numbers are divisible by 6, so when you divide by 6 you get negative 4 and you get 3 in the denominator. Okay, for 127 we have a composition, f of g of negative 1. And so I rewrote it so that you could see like the other way, the other notation for it. So I'm going to do g of negative 1 first. So let's see, 8. Okay, so that's negative 1 squared, so that gives me 8, right? So now I'm going to find f of 8. So that's 14 times 8 minus 3. So then 14 times 8 gives you 112, minus 3 gives you 109. Okay, so number 128 is g of f of 0. So again, I rewrote it with a different notation there. So we're going to do f of 0 first. So that's 14 times 0 minus 3, so that gives you negative 3. And then now we're going to do g of negative 3, because f of 0 was negative 3, so now we're going to do g of negative 3. Okay, so that's going to be 8 times negative 3, negative 3 squared. So that's 8 times 9, which is 72.